Right, ladies and gentlemen, how is everyone doing? We have got, I'd say, news which I'm very proud of and I would really love to see. Obviously, it takes more time, it takes more effort from the board to just say, right, Donny van de Beek has been offered to us and now we get him. Obviously, it's more complicated than that. But the general idea is that Donny van de Beek's agents have offered him to Roma, and that is already a step forward when it comes to kind of end the deal. You know, if the agents already kind of direct the player in a direction, then all we kind of need is the club to say yes and the player to say yes. But the offer which the news story that we are gathering in these last couple of hours is that Donny van de Beek's agents have offered him to Roma. Now, obviously, Manchester United are all behind this. Manchester United, at the end of the day, are the ones who control this. But when it comes to the player himself, when it comes to the player and all the deals around the player, it is obviously about his agents. And when it comes to the agent side, his agents have offered him to Roma. Now, as I said before, and I'm going to say it again, Manchester United are behind this. And at the end of the day, it is going to be tough. It's not impossible, because over the course of this start of the transfer market, we've been linked with, there have been rumours of mega galactical donctus players linked with Roma in compared to Van de Beek. But obviously, it's still a tough one. Now, I would love for it to happen, and I'll discuss about it why. It is going to be tough. However, you know, we've been compared to bigger players than Van de Beek. So if that is the kind of path that we're following in this transfer market, then this shouldn't even be impossible, if you see what I mean. But let me kind of trace this back to the player we need. And one of the players, now that we bought Matic and we've kind of not sorted out, because we definitely need other players, but we've put a brick, we've kind of, put a brick in this wall of finding a defensive midfielder. We obviously need more bricks to build this wall and to improve this wall. But a big brick has been built with a player which Mourinho knows and loves and brought back to Roma, which is Matic. Now, I think the big priority, and I think this is what I think, is a creative midfielder. That is why we've been linked to Dybala and we've presented offers to Dybala and his agents. However, in these last couple of hours, Dybala unfortunately will join Inter Milan. Now, Dybala's agents yesterday went to Milan and kind of went to Inter in Milan's offices, and they discussed about this offer, and everyone says there are positive vibes around it. So at the end of the day, Dybala will join Inter Milan. That was the vibe at the very start of this deal. We've been kind of understanding this for quite a long while. There has been a slight competition between us and Inter Milan, but at the end of the day, you know, it's Inter Milan are going to get Dybala. That's just the way it is. That means that we aren't getting Dybala, and we still are in search of a creative midfielder, which I'm going to say it again, I think is a big priority. Because if we can get the best out of Pellegrini, and if you've been watching the Nations League with Italy, who has been, you know, psychologically demoralized, psychologically destroyed by the fact that they didn't get in a World Cup, started a new cycle. Pellegrini's playing phenomenally in that team. They're playing against England on Saturday. Pellegrini did have a slight injury, a muscle injury. It's because he played so many matches with Roma, so he kind of carried on his energies. Against Italy, he's done. He wants his holidays. He played every single match for Roma. He added on these massive performances with Italy. He has said it, I need a break. And that's possibly why he's now injured. It is an injury, obviously, but, you know, it's a slight injury. So, that is it. I think Pellegrini's playing phenomenally under Mancini and the Italian national team. If we can get a player to put next to Pellegrini, who plays very well, just like Pellegrini. I think with Tammy, that will mean goals galore. Tammy, Pellegrini, and if we can get a player who's creative, just like Pellegrini, and can serve Tammy Abraham, that will equal goals. And there are thousands of players that we've been linked to when it comes to this position. The last player is Donny van de Beek. He is a creative midfielder, he's very young, and his agents have offered him to Roma. However, at the end of the day, as I said at the start, Manchester United are behind this all. So even if his agents have offered him to Roma, at the end of the day, Manchester United has the biggest voice. Now, however, I think it's just, there will be just one reason, one factor, which will either determine Van de Beek's future in Manchester United or Van de Beek's future away from Manchester United. And that factor is Erik Ten Hag. I, myself, can't see Ten Hag not accepting Van de Beek in his own team. I can't see it happen. They got in a semi-final of the Champions League together. They know each other really well. He trained him at Ajax. They're both from the Netherlands. It's as if Romeo and Juliet it's as if this love story is set to continue. And I can't see Erik Ten Hag kind of saying no to Donny van de Beek. I genuinely can't see it happen. It could happen because everything is weird in England and with the English media and so. But if you ask me, I can't see it happen. For two players, it's almost like saying Matic goes to a club where Mourinho is the manager and Mourinho says, no, I don't want him. When the hell will that happen? It's kind of the same situation here. Van de Beek and Ten Hag know each other so well that saying no to each other would mean like an alien invasion the day after. Like the world is ending. Because I genuinely can't see it happen. Now, this is where Ten Hag is the biggest factor in this. Ten Hag obviously still needs to start his training sessions at Manchester United, and Donny van de Beek is back from his loan at Everton, and I think these weeks will determine his future. If Ten Hag really wants him, if Ten Hag really points on him, if Ten Hag really, in a way, just wants him at Manchester United, then he will stay. Otherwise, I can definitely see it happen. I mean, he went on loan to Everton, which fought for relegation this season. Why the hell would he say no to Roma? Obviously, it's a different league, but I mean, we could potentially also get it on loan. Not that it would kind of change Ten Hag's philosophy, but getting him on loan would virtually mean that if Ten Hag really wants him back, then he can get him back. But I think when it comes to the sort of player which we need to focus on it's I'm not saying Van de Beek 100%, but it's a similar player to Van de Beek. That is what we need right now. A creative midfielder to put next to Pellegrini. And now that Zaniolo is kind of got a big question mark, it's a weird one. But we'll see what happens with the Zaniolo deal as well. Milan are really tempted to buy him, but at the same time, Milan aren't ready to offer as much money as Roma is asking for Zaniolo. So we'll see what happens. The only thing to kind of understand is that right now, if it wasn't for Ten Hag, you see, if Rangnick was sitting on the bench, then we would get Ten Hag, we would get Van de Beek immediately, and we wouldn't even need to think about it. And also, his desire to play for Manchester United, if Rangnick was sitting on the bench, would be way less. Now that his favourite manager is sitting on the bench, then you kind of really need a lot of determination to say no. They've got all the links factored together. They know each other really well. Like Ten Hag had him at Ajax. They got in a Champions League semi-final. So I think it would take a lot of balls as well for Van de Beek to say, no, I don't want you as a manager, I want a new experience. My only big hope, because as I said before, I would love to see Van de Beek wearing our jersey. My only big hope when it comes to this is that after these 2 years as a Manchester United player, Van de Beek has understood that he hates the club so much, who have been a big part of his downfall, because he was great at Ajax and then he joined Manchester United and his value dropped, his performances dropped in everything, and in these last 2 years he understood that. He understood how much English media downfall players. So my big hope is that he kind of acknowledged all of this and doesn't want to play in England, doesn't want to play for Manchester United, just because he thinks his career can be ended, and he's seeking for a new experience, if you see what I mean. But that is my only hope, because I really can't see him saying no to Ten Hag, which is the manager who he got in a semi-final of the Champions League with. So I really can't see it happen. But yeah, when it comes to Manchester United as well, we've had a lot of direct contacts with Manchester United over the course of these last transfer markets and in this transfer market as well. Obviously Matic, Smalling a few years ago, Mkhitaryan. We've had direct contacts between the two boards. And basically every transfer market. Manchester United know the limits of Roma, and Roma know the limits of Manchester United. So Roma kind of know what Manchester United is set to expect when it comes to the financial side. But another thing which I've been reading, which right now, it's tough. It's those rumors which newspapers like to put out. But one thing which I have heard is that another player which Mourinho could potentially get from Manchester United and bring to Roma is Marcus Rashford, but I've also read that Manchester United are prioritizing his renewal of contract. So this thing is so bright. There you go. So yeah, I've read that as well. But it's that time of the year where journalists like to write every possible thing when it comes to football. So especially June. June is a very big month when it comes to journalists, just putting random names linked with the clubs in every single newspaper. But I did read that just to point out. And yeah, other deals. We're really interested in Frattesi, which I can't get my head through. I've been watching him as a player. I can't get over him. I really don't like him as a player, and I yet need to understand what Mourinho, what Thiago Pinto really have discovered in him, which they want to bring to Roma, because Roma is really determined to get Frattesi. Now, we will speak about Frattesi in the next couple of days if big updates come, but one thing which I would point out is that, first of all, it would make complete and utter just confusion buying a player back when we had him in our academy team a few years ago. That is just waste of money. And that is why, yet again, we can emphasize another mistake from Pallotta. Because if he was so good, why the hell did we sell him? And now we're back interested in a player which we had in our academy team. That does not make sense. And also another thing is that Sassuolo set the price tag for Frattesi for £40 million. What are they on about? Sassuolo love to do these bastard acts. They are a club which in every single transfer market, setting these high-ass price tags for their players, as if all of their players just came from a World Cup winner or from a Champions League winner. Right, I've got Frattesi, 40 million. What the hell? Who would pay 40 million for Frattesi? I'm going to warn you here. Thiago Pinto, if you're watching this, if you dare spend 40 million on Frattesi, you are an absolute moron. Don't you dare get influenced by Sassuolo's president, who's been setting high-ass price tags for 20 years now. Don't you dare get tricked by him. If you spend more than 15 million on Frattesi, you, to me, make utter sense. Don't you dare spend more than £15 million on Frattesi. And I'm telling you right here, if we spend more than 15, maybe 20 million on Frattesi, then we really can handle transfer markets. Like, that is a big statement which we can link with this club. Like, if we even try to spend that amount of money to buy Frattesi, we are dickheads. Especially if you link back what I said. For a player which we had in our own academy team. In our own academy team. And we could have paid free for. Now, we suddenly want him back. 40 million pounds. That is a waste of money. If he's gone from the academy team, there might be a reason for it. And that is definitely something which Thiago Pinto needs to be careful to not get tricked in. Because it might be tempting to offer 40 million to Sassuolo for Frattesi, for a guy who lives in Rome, for a guy who supports Rome, but a few years ago has declared anti-Roman tweets on Twitter. That is another real reason why there's a big question mark on Frattesi. He has been a player in our academy team, and a few years ago when we sold him, he declared like his hate towards Roma and his loyalty towards Lazio on Twitter. You see, I think there needs to be a limit to loyalty as well. If a player has declared anti-comments about this club, then to me, you're not getting. You just don't get him. And that is why I got pissed off this summer when Pedro went from Roma to Lazio. Because you can go there, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, there is a sense of loyalty in your life. And that's why I'm glad Mkhitaryan went to Inter Milan, because that guy Pedro tried to convince Mkhitaryan by giving him phone calls to go from Roma to Lazio as well. So, yeah, there needs to be a sense of loyalty as well. So, and yeah, there's been this, it's not a scandal, don't get me wrong, but there's been this thing about Frattesi, who played for our academy team, got sold, and as an act of revenge started posting these comments on Twitter declaring hate on Roma and declaring loyalty to Lazio. I think, and I'm a big person when it comes to loyalty, right? I do believe that football players need to have a limit of loyalty. And if this guy has declared love to Lazio when he was a Roma player on the academy team, then that to me immediately means, even if he's a massive player, that to me immediately means no, because you don't want to play here. That's what it means to me at the end of the day. That's it. So yeah, we've been linked with Frattesi. We've been linked with so many players. We've been linked with in the midfield, there's the defensive midfielders, Ruben Neves, Bissouma, who is set to join Arsenal though, and Douglas Luiz. And I think any of these three would be perfect. If we then add on a creative player, we've been linked with Donny on the Beek. We've been linked to Awar from Olympique Lyon. Yeah, we've been linked with so many players. It's that time of the year where journalists love writing about players, and we like gathering information about many players, and then at the end of the day, kind of cancel them out and see who the best option is. Also, let's point out that Mourinho is still enjoying his holidays. There have been the official dates for the return. Towards the start of July, the players will get back to Trigoria. And then 10 days after, around the 14th of July, they will all go to Portugal, just like this summer, to train in Mourinho's land and to perform some friendly matches. We've got some big friendly matches coming ahead. We've got Barcelona and Tottenham, both as friendly matches, so that will be interesting. And yeah, so the dates have been confirmed for the return of the players. Obviously, some players like Mancini, Spinazzola and Cristante will be playing on Saturday against England. Pellegrini was set to play, but had this slight muscle problem, which I do think it's a call for holidays. Yes, it is probably an injury. I'm not, saying that it's not an injury, but it's definitely also a call for his holidays. He's had enough of football this season. He's played so many matches as a captain for Roma. He's played some 2 phenomenally amazing matches under Italy as a number 10, and he deserves some holidays. So I think he couldn't care less about playing the match on Saturday against England, and yeah, he has this slight muscle injury problem, so he'll start his holidays earlier, and yeah. Tammy with England, and that'll be it. So let's not forget that this month is also kind of players aren't focused. Mourinho isn't focused on the transfer market yet. He's enjoying his last bits of holidays. Thiago Pinto probably as well, even though he's definitely in contact with teams now that he bought Matic, and we're very close to Solbakken and Celik. But yeah, we've been linked with a lot of players. That is June, and then we'll see which of these players will potentially then join Roma for real. Rumours of Milan sending us Pobega and money for Zaniolo. I would do that deal all day long. I would never do that deal for the simple reason being is that Pobega is an extremely slow player. And if we need something right now, is not a slow player. Because we already have Cristante when it comes to slow players. So, wasn't it Hussam Aouar? Aouar has been offered as well. We'll talk about Aouar in the next couple of days, if there is any update as well. Sam, did you see Sassuolo put a 40 million price tag on Frattesi? I did indeed. And I found it ridiculous, just like you. Ndombele, Aouar, Neves and Basuma. Yeah, Ndombele as well is another player. We don't need Dybala. What we need are players willing to play 150% more than their potentials, willing to give everything. Hopefully Celik and Solbakken along with some rotational players, and we are okay. Mancini likes playing Pellegrini as a mezzala. I think Jose should consider it if we get a creative midfielder. Yeah, Pellegrini's been playing phenomenally for Italy. Celik is going to be a starter. I want Isco, says Amir Ba. Welcome Jumpy to the stream. No buttered players, entitled young cunts. What do you think about Mertens being... Yeah, another player is Mertens. You see, we've got so many players. Mertens, I think, is a big player as a Abraham's reserve, like Shomurodov this season. I think Mertens would be perfect for that. Perfect because Mertens is really tempted to join Roma. He loves the city and he loves the manager. And he isn't going to renew. Most probably isn't going to renew his contract with Napoli. So we'll see how that goes. I think as a second striker, so when Tammy rests, Mertens would be amazing. He is 35 years old. But his feet, his accuracy, his vision is something else. So Mertens for me, it's a yes and a no at the same time. No for his age, but yes, because I think it would be a perfect substitution for Tammy. Anna Keen, welcome to the stream. Yeah, lads and lasses, I'll catch you in a couple of days for more transfer updates. And yeah, if you don't know, I have posted a summer plan video. It's like 7 minutes long, so go and watch that to get a kind of an overview of the schedule and the videos to expect in these summer months. And yeah, well, there will be entertaining videos as well as transfer market news, match reactions for match reactions for friendly matches in July, and yeah, there will be entertaining videos as well, which will be good, which will be fun after such a season. So yeah, if you haven't already, smash the subscribe button, share the link with your families and friends. Also follow me on Instagram over at Salmon_ASR_, and smash the like button in this live stream as well. Do you know that Roma have 30% of the money if Sassuolo sells Frattesi? Yeah, that's interesting as well. And yeah, imagine us buying Frattesi and then getting the money. That would be a monopoly style of counteracting. But yeah,